The true history of Blue Moon is it wasn't made up in a lab by focus groups and stuff. I mean, it was invented right here at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. 1995 is when we launched. So in 97, I traveled the country to get people to serve our beer with oranges. And they thought it was just a gimmick, but it's actually a functional garnish to bring out the orange peel it's brewed with.
Put an orange on a beer, it's absolutely iconic. I mean, you can't go anywhere without the orange garnish and realize those people are drinking Blue Moon.
Niche products cater to small groups of knowledgeable and loyal customers. But every now and then, a niche product will be such a great idea, it will explode in popularity and head into the mainstream. That's been the case with specialty beers in the last few years. The market has been going strong globally, and Japan is included. Japan's big four beverage makers have been churning out dependable but not very exciting beers for the masses. Then, a few years back, the trend for craft beer took hold, and now it seems that quite a few of Japan's drinking spots are awash in premium brews offering diverse flavors and ingredients. Exotic beers are even competing for space on the shelves of local supermarkets.
The Japan market is more than 90% of Japan beer market is owned by the Pilsner lager type of beers. If you look at the current market data, it's reaching to the more than 10% market share currently owned by the craft beer. So this is kind of the times for Japanese consumers is seeking for the other beer than the usual Pilsner type of lager in Japan.
In Japan, the boom traces its roots to 1994. That's when a change in regulations allowed small beer producers access to a very big market. The result was the so-called Jibiru beers.
We've got the original Jibiru movement in Japan, and that's been kind of overlaid with this craft beer movement now, so it's attracting a lot more customers. And I think things are really just in their infancy here. And it's a country, it's a culture which enjoys beer, which understands beer. It's a culture which wants to have drink that goes well with food, which is always one of the challenges we had trying to sell whiskey. It's very hard to match with Japanese foods, whereas beer just lends itself to food. So it's a market just waiting to happen, really.
Small breweries that used to make only bottles and only sell it as omiyage or a present if you go someplace else, basically decided to get more professional. And with the law in 1994 allowing small breweries to get into the market, people had this idea of like, okay, we're already making beer, let's make it better.
In 2013, the Japanese quaffed 35 million liters of craft beer, more than double the volume of 15 years ago. Increasingly, they're willing to pay more for higher quality and greater choice.
There's one beer made by Epic Brewing, that's a Belgian style ale with 10% alcohol, and it's being brewed and set in a single malt barrel.
When you get people who haven't tried craft beer before, whether it's at the bar here or it's at some of the events we do, they're genuinely really amazed and surprised by the flavors they're experiencing, and the whole range of flavors as well. You might not like an IPA, you might not particularly like the hops, but some of the stouts with the chocolate and coffee flavors, some of the Belgian sour beers, there's such an incredible range of flavors and tastes. So as soon as you've obviously tried it, but you can just very fruity.
It's wonderful, very fruity.
Yeah, and it's a very moorish flavor as well. It's kind of that whole sort of hop aroma and bitterness. It's a beautiful balanced combination.
The brand concept is art-free crafted. This is everything. So it's a matter of the Keith Beer's inspiration and the creativity. So under the inspirations, one of the biggest unique things on the Blue Moon is the orange area. So unlike the usual Belgian white style beer, we use the Valencia orange peel, which makes the taste smooth on the more fruity and aromatics. That makes more easier, smooth to drink for the many kind of consumers and the many occasions.
And it's a taste that's gaining fairly mainstream appeal.
beer in Japan, basically, you would imagine a salary man that finished work and come in to have a pint of beer. It seems like after 2.5 years opening here in Center Shibuya, we get all kinds of customers. A lot of young people, obviously, because it is Shibuya, but a lot of couples, a lot of female clientele, like come in groups and drink beer and enjoy food. That's something you wouldn't see basically with, let's say, 10 or 7 years ago, the image of Japanese people drinking beer after work. And it's beautiful. It's just something that I personally like to see, because it evolves somewhere and people seems to like and enjoy different kind of beer.
The people who buy the Blue Moon is start changing. At the beginning, it was the people who had experience spending time in the United States. It's really appreciated to find the Blue Moon in Japan. But now it's changing. It's given it's the fruity taste and the easy to drink. The ladies and also young executive in the Tokyo area start drinking this brand.
For beers made from fresh and natural ingredients and offering tons of character, like, well, this one here, the only direction for the market, it seems, is up. Bottoms up. Thank you for watching Business in Japan TV.
The true history of Blue Moon is it wasn't made up in a lab by focus groups and stuff. I mean, it was invented right here at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. 1995 is when we launched. So in 97, I traveled the country to get people to serve our beer with oranges. And they thought it was just a gimmick, but it's actually a functional garnish to bring out the orange peel it's brewed with.
Put an orange on a beer, it's absolutely iconic. I mean, you can't go anywhere without the orange garnish and realize those people are drinking Blue Moon.